Sonic X Shadow Generations is only a couple days away now, and ever since the announcement roughly about 8 months ago, it has been one hell of a time to be a Sonic fan, as the entire fearless year of Shadow has been entirely the best year to be a Sonic fan. As someone who's in their early 20s and grew up in the dark age of Sonic, it's entirely a breath of fresh air just to see how excited people are for a game like Sonic X Shadow Generations or Movie 3. I'm so broken as a Sonic fan that I expect every single time Sonic reveals something new to us, I expect people to absolutely hate it for no reason at all. But the thing is, with Sonic X Shadow Generations, since the announcement of that, things have been extremely positive within the Sonic community. And it genuinely feels fun and exciting to be a part of the community, where 90% of people will say positive things about the game, and everyone's just eagerly waiting for this game to release in just a couple days. I will say that it is somewhat bittersweet to kind of see this game finally release, as I'm super excited to play and jump into this game finally, but also, this is kind of the first game that I've truly completely followed absolutely every piece of news on the channel. I've made multiple videos about how excited I am for this game, but also some concerns I potentially had. And each concern that I expressed, Sega continues to keep shutting those concerns down. Sonic X Shadow Generations is truly the start of something extremely special for Sonic. Not only for what it feels like the first time ever do we have the support of almost every Sonic fan, but we also have the support of Sega, who continues to show that they are listening to us and expressing or resolving our concerns with stuff inside of Sonic. I think one of the best things that they've truly ever done is changing the cover to be reversible. Many fans expressed how they loved the Japanese cover art that Japan was getting for the game, and I was there with them as I expressed how much I loved that cover art and how much I preferred it over the one we got here in the States. And Sega fully going out of their way to print a reversible cover for all of the physical copies is such a sweet touch done by them. It's something they didn't have to do, and it wasn't something that I really ever expected them to do, but just seeing how people were expressing how much they love that cover art and fully putting it on all of the copies over here is so awesome. But not only that, I think a big love letter to fans is all of the skins that are coming inside of this game. You not only have the Sonic Jam Classic Sonic skin, but also the Dreamcast Sonic skin as well coming in the game for all the pre-orders. But also you have the Digital Deluxe Edition for Shadow getting Terios, and even Movie Shadow already being announced for DLC. These are some extremely cool callbacks, but also a really big love letter in the sense of adding Keanu Reeves' entire voice to a skin. Sega is truly going above and beyond for this game, and I am entirely here for it. And if this is truly a sign of things to come, I think we're really in good hands with Sonic. And the closer we keep getting to that release date, with it just being a couple days away, we are going to continue to keep getting news and even potentially leaks. I will heed that warning to each and every single Sonic fan that decides to watch this video, is be very careful on the internet the next coming days, as leaks are going to continue to come out and they're going to continue to spoil Sonic fans. As we don't know entirely everything that's going to be in the game, whether there's going to be a secret skin, more stages, more boss fights, other potential playable characters, or anything like that at all. It's truly a mystery, and a lot of stuff is really unanswered about the game, especially in the Shadow Generations portion. Because as of recording this video, we are only 5 days away from this game coming out. And I very highly expect within either the next couple hours or even the next couple days that a lot of stuff is going to leak out and spoil us. So be very careful on pages like TikTok, X, or even YouTube or Twitch. That is, if you don't want to be spoiled. If you don't care, then hey, I'm sure stuff's going to be coming out soon. As even Sonic Team is even starting to release a lot more teasers, and they finally released the teaser for the Terios skin being in the game. And the skin genuinely looks amazing, but it wasn't really what I expected it to be, in my opinion. Not that it's bad or anything like that, I just didn't expect his quills to go directly down. I don't know if it was just me looking at the concept art wrong, and maybe that was just how it was intended to be when they were initially designing Shadow, but I definitely didn't expect this. I don't think it looks bad, and I think it's a really cool way to design the character, and very unique way at that. I just saw some people really did not like that the quills went directly down, as it looked a little goofy to them. But I'm for one someone that actually really enjoys the quills going down, as it really differentiates Terios from the other hedgehogs like Sonic, Shadow, or even Silver. Someone made an art that made his quills kind of go to the side and added his big scarf that he had in one of his concept arts, and this looks great as well, but I don't know, something about the downwards quills just makes him look cool. One thing I do kind of wonder is how his running animation is going to look inside of the game, as when he is actually flying in, you can see the bottom part of his shoe as it doesn't look like he's going to be skating, or at least it wouldn't really make sense for me to see him skating around. He could have a very similar run animation to Sonic, and they could entirely just port over Sonic's run animation from Sonic Generations and put it over into Shadow Generations. Or he could just skate and it doesn't look like anything's coming out from the bottom of his shoes. I feel like that would look a little weird in my opinion, but I'm really interested to see what that animation looks like. But besides his run animation, I'm sure that he shares everything that Shadow has, from animations like victory animations that we see here to voice lines and everything like that. The other thing I do kind of wonder as well is there going to be more stages, missions, or even boss fights than we've already been announced. There's been a lot of boss fights already announced, and I don't see very many others being added. The only other one that makes sense to me is Infinite, but I'm still kind of on the side that I really don't see it happening, even though I want it to. I do see a few more stages being added in. It's just a curiosity in terms of what it's going to actually end up being. Another stage that I would like to see is something represented from the Shadow the Hedgehog game. I would really like to see Westopolis or even Sky Troops from the game, as those are two of my favorite stages from it. Or even potentially you could do Lost Impact if you want to somehow put Maria in it some way, or kind of run through his past in a way. We already have the Space Colony Arc stage, which looks like it's going to be incredible, but I would like to see more representation from his actual game, as it seems like this game as a whole is going to be taking a lot from that. Jun Tsunoya did perform a remixed version of Westopolis at a game show fairly recently, so I see Westopolis being added, but some people are saying that this is going to be the theme for the movie DLC stage, so maybe Westopolis could make an appearance depending on that, but I would like to see another stage from that. I don't think we really need another stage from Sonic Heroes. I think Rail Canyon does fine. You could potentially add another 06 stage like White Acropolis, or even Dusty Desert, as that is kind of the location that you end up fighting Mephiles, it looks like. And I think they're good on Forces. I don't want too many Forces stages. I think doing Sunset Heights is perfectly fine for Shadow. And it looks like they're completely redoing the stage, so I'm super excited to see how that stage actually looks inside of the game. But besides that, I don't see many more stages being added. I can see maybe 1 to 2 of them being hidden, but it's hard to really say. I've mentioned it a lot in the past, with Azuka saying that this game is going to end up being just as long as Generations or slightly shorter. But the one thing I'm actually curious about is how does he determine playtime? As in Generations, there is a lot of missions above each stage for classic and modern Sonic, and those generally take up a big portion of the game if you're a completionist, as there's 5 missions or extra stages for modern Sonic in Green Hill, and then there's another 5 for classic Sonic in Green Hill, and it's the same thing for every single stage alongside the 3 rival fights and 4 boss fights. So there's definitely more stuff when it comes to stages or even boss fights in the game. I'm just super excited to see what those actually are. A sleeper pick that I think people might overlook is I think Asteroid Coaster might be a stage added into this game. The reason I say Asteroid Coaster is they added stages from Frontiers where Shadow wasn't involved at all, so why not add Asteroid Coaster to add some representation for Sonic Colors? Because Shadow actually made an appearance there in the DS version of Sonic Colors. So I could definitely see them kind of going outside the box and adding a stage like that, even though he only really says some voice lines within inside of that game. But he was still there technically, so why not, right? And then the last expectation that I'd really like to see within the game, if it's even possible at all for them to do, I would like for them to allow us to use Shadow inside of the normal Generations remaster. I don't think he needs to necessarily be involved in the story purposes of it at all, but I think once you can entirely beat the game, it'd be really cool to kind of have a Forces situation where you're able to swap over to Shadow and run through all of modern Sonic stages. You don't even really have to add the Doom powers or anything like that. While that would be really cool and kind of cool to see how the Doom powers could affect Sonic stages, it's not a necessary thing, as I would just like to be able to use Shadow in those stages. But honestly, when it comes to expectations or anything like that, I don't really have many left. I definitely had some expectations of having a Sonic 06 stage or adding Mephiles to it or anything like that, but honestly, this game has so much that I've already asked for that I just can't expect anything more from this game. I think this game has the makings to be one of the best Sonic games and one of the most hyped Sonic games. as I'm extremely excited for not only Shadow Generations, but to rerun through Sonic Generations Remaster. I'm excited to see how the drop dash affects modern Sonic and classic Sonic, but I'm also really excited to see what they potentially even changed about the game. They could potentially add new skills that could affect the way that you run through stages. They could have altered some cutscenes in certain ways, or even seeing how the Chow affect the entire game, as we don't know much about the Chow still. Sure, it's another collection thing, but could that collection thing unlock different skins for the game, different skills? Could they unlock an entirely new stage for Sonic? Who knows? The possibilities are truly endless for him. But the point of this video was just kind of express just how excited I am for these next couple days. I'm so excited to jump into a brand new Sonic game again and run through a character that we don't really get much of anymore. Shadow has truly been put to the side so often, and even when we did get him, it was so lackluster. And I really expect Sega to move forward with Shadow being more of a main character from the reaction of this game. Because I truly see this game selling well, and I really see the way that critics perceive this game being extremely well. Look, I don't expect any like 10 out of 10s or 9s out of 10s, but I expect definitely a solid some 9s, 8s, and even 7s. This game looks like it is going to do great, and people that have played it in demos already from different conventions and events have said this game runs really well and they look forward to playing the game. And those are probably still early builds of the game and not what the final game is going to feel like. I'm insanely excited for this game, as I've said many times within this video, but if you take anything away from this video, I just want to say, just enjoy the game. No matter what Metacritic, IGN, or some random Twitter user 1257 says, just enjoy the game for what it is. Just enjoy the game yourself. Just enjoy the game for what you think it is. Sonic is finally in an amazing place, and I think that he is in really good hands with Sega right now, and I think that the next future Sonic games are going to be just as hype as this one. And I can't wait to make a bunch of videos about this game, depending on what the entire game details, and every little secret, every little storytelling thing, and just truly having fun with this game, man. I'm so excited. So be sure to like the video if you want to see Sonic X Shadow Generations content on this channel when the game finally releases. But be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos that are going to be coming out about the game, as I definitely intend to express my opinions about the game, absolutely deep dive into everything when it comes to story and all that stuff like that, but also just having fun playing the game, man. As the 22nd for Digital Deluxe users like myself can't come soon enough, or even the 25th for Standard Edition users. But with all that being said, guys, have fun playing Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.